Our senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano, is here for context and perspective. Big picture, what does this mean?
A couple of things. The resignation letter was prepared in such haste it's undated.
I heard you that, and I heard you say that, and I wondered, is it possible that this resignation letter has been sitting around since President Trump began saying, I want your resignation, quite a while back?
It is very possible that the president has had that's the reason it was undated. It's almost inconceivable that lawyers would sign something as dramatic as this without it being dated. The president may very well have said, I want your resignation letter. It's going to be in my top drawer, and I'll publish it when I'm ready, and you'll know. Wouldn't be beyond Donald Trump to use that as a style. Secondly, the FISA application, about which Catherine has spoken at length, that the president said he was going to reveal. He suddenly changed his mind 180 degrees after members of the intelligence community, American intelligence, British intelligence, Israeli intelligence, dissuaded him from doing so. This tells me that this is part of some larger picture. What larger picture? If this is perceived as a series of events fomented by President Trump in order to interfere with the Mueller investigation by putting another person in charge of it who may take it over, a person more friendly to Donald Trump than Bob Mueller is perceived as being. President Trump's own champion in the Republicans in the United States Senate, Senator Lindsey Graham, has said that would foment a constitutional crisis. So we have a lot of facts to get our arms around here, Shep. I don't know where this is going to go, but I do know it's volatile right now.
We heard Chuck Schumer say constitutional crisis. What did he mean? Help our viewers understand this.
That the president is using extraordinary powers to prevent the rule of law from taking its normal course, and that would foment a reaction on the part of the Congress. The Congress, a House soon to be controlled by the Democrats, the Senate soon to be controlled by more Republicans, but there are many of those Republicans who have indicated they would not roll over to an effort to interfere with Bob Mueller. Chief among them is the president's principal ally in the Senate, Senator Lindsey Graham, who used the exact same phrase 4 or 5 months ago that Senator Schumer used 4 or 5 minutes ago, the phrase you just quoted, constitutional crisis.
Would lawyers and judges call this offense suddenly after a midterm election defeat on the House?
Ask me again?
Would this be returning to offense?
Yes. This is the height of offense to do something like this within 24 hours of the conclusion of the midterms. I must also tell you that though Mr. Whitaker is now acting Attorney General Whitaker, is a former United States attorney for the Southern District of Iowa and was confirmed by the Senate for that. He was not confirmed by the Senate to become acting Attorney General. And the statute requires that the human being who runs the Department of Justice have been confirmed by the Senate for a senior leadership position. There's only 3 people there. Rod Rosenstein, who's next in line, Noel Francisco, who's the Solicitor General, the person that represents the government before the Supreme Court, and a third person whose name I'm not remembering, below Mr. Francisco. None of those is Matt Whitaker. So there may be an issue with whether or not he is legally qualified to serve as acting Attorney General.